Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and I wanted to do a solo Nightfall guide for the week of October 9th for you guys on a strike that I know I feel comfortable with, and I think if you guys kind of run with a similar build, you should have some success. So my advice is going to be the Pyramidion. Now, your other options this week are Warden of Nothing and the Corrupted. If you have a group, I would try and finish these strikes with similar type of rolls with some type of singe which you think works, and then heavyweight to give you a bonus multiplier if you're just going for completion to try and get some of those strike specific weapons that are new from these strikes. One is a hand cannon that has a pretty cool roll, and then the corrupted strike also I cannot remember the corrupted strike. I'll have to look into that one. But the Pyramidion, for one, it has a sniper rifle, which it's only okay. More, it's if you guys are going for, hey, I just want to check the Nightfall box so I can get one more piece of powerful gear for the week. This is exactly what this guide is going to be for. A solo completion, not a high points run. I'll give you a quick sidebar on, kind of my setup for points. But other than that, this is what I would do. If you just want to check the box for your Nightfall for your character and you need to do it solo by yourself, I'm thinking this one will help you guys out to succeed as best as possible. So for the Pyramidion, first let me go with the card itself. You're going to have Arc Singe for the Pyramidion. That is going to be the best option for you. You're going to be dealing with a lot of void damage coming to you and solar, especially from the boss. So Arc is going to be your pretty much best one to use. Also, supers on Arc can be fairly offensive. So things like Chaos Reach is actually really good. You've got the Arc Strider, which can pump out a lot of damage. On the boss, you got to be careful of being kind of knocked backwards, but as long as you line up, you should be relatively okay. But you can kill lots of guys if you use something like Radiant Flux. And then, of course, Titan's Fist of Havoc, Code of the Missile, that stuff's all fun. So Arc Singe is a good way to go. Bring things like Darcy, Arc Rocket Launchers. If you've got something like Play of the Game I got recently, that one dropped in Arc. So anything in Arc, heavy weapons will be your other side of it. Heavyweight is going to be your only other multiplier you want to put on to basically make this thing easier. Now, if you're trying to speed run these things, I've seen people do it with, where'd it go? Momentum. So if you run the whole time and you want to stay alive, if you're moving the whole time, you will, keep your regeneration of your health going. But when you get to a point where you have to stop and actually fight and you can't sprint as much, it can be one that works against you because you can't get your health up quite as quickly without sprinting. So to me, on completely safe measures, I would not put momentum on. If you feel comfortable doing it, that's fine. If you're going for a little bit of a faster solo run, that is up to you. Obviously, don't have a multiplier on. No need for that if we're not going for points. For my build, a couple pieces about this. One, as I said, an Arc subclass is going to be important because that's where a big piece of damage is going to come from. I'm going to run, actually, the Chaos Reach. So I'm going to run a 2 min of control on that one just so I have a huge giant super to dump into the boss in the end and maybe a couple places in the middle. Some type of mid-range weapon, whether it's a pulse rifle, auto rifle is going to be beneficial because you have a lot of enemies you need to take out. Some will be from range, so even a pulse rifle honestly might work better on this one. I'll try it out and see. But you're going to lock into the Nightfall when you go, so just be ready with what you're running with. Don't be like, hey, I'm going to run shotgun and fusion rifle and grenade launcher. You might be in a world of hurt. So, something with medium range. Scout rifles, unfortunately, are not in the greatest state right now. This one, unfortunately, would be one I might even recommend just because it's a void scout rifle, and I'll get to that in a second, but scout rifles are getting a buff next week. So next week, scout rifles might be a bit more of an option. I still don't know if 15% is going to be enough to make them viably comparable, but we will have to wait and see if it's enough. They got a pretty big nerf when it came to Forsaken, and they need some love right now. But mid-range here, auto or pulse, either one probably should be fine. I just got done testing this thing out and I was using Tiger Spite and it did fine for me as well. So somewhere in that mid-range, just something you can control at mid-range is important. Pulse rifle may be a little better just because you've got a bit more range on it. Second, your energy slot. The enemies you're going to fight are going to have arc shields for the harpies in the beginning, some middle and end, depending on the roll of the strike. And then you're going to have void shields on some enemies as well. Few are going to have solar, depending on the roll of the strike. Now, the roll of the strike is, the enemies throughout the strike either can be mostly taken or mostly Vex. It's kind of how this one goes. If they are mostly taken, you're going to be dealing with Acolytes that have void shields, hence the need for a void weapon of some kind, whether it is scout rifle. And this is all you, if this is all you have, you're like, I don't have a great void bow, but I do have a void scout. Bring it. It may just take you a little bit longer, but again, patience of doing a solo run is kind of a big important piece anyway, so just know you'll have a few more bullets to pump out downrange. But Void of some kind for the Acolytes is important. They're usually clumped up in groups, so breaking their shield, one of them will usually break another one's shield, and then that explosion tends the chain and works fairly efficiently for those moments. If you're running against the Vex version, you are going to be seeing Minotaurs with shields. So you also need Void for them. Now, the Solar Shield is kind of the oddball out, and it's the one that I'm actually not going to tell you to spec for if you are just going for completion, because you can still whittle down a Solar Shield with a Void energy weapon. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. But generally, you're not going to fight as many quantity of solar enemies as you will Void in either sense. So my recommendation is to go with some type of Void mid-range weapon again as well, whether it's Pulse, whether it's Scout, whether it's Bow. I'm using Bow just because I've enjoyed this one. It's kind of fun to use, and I got a pretty good roll on it. But it's also a fairly high damage, high roll weapon, which at this point doesn't really matter. But Void is going to be my recommendation here. Now, down below here, it's really up to you. I'm going to run Darcy just because it is arc for one. It's going to help with that arc singe so I get more damage from it. And also with heavyweight, it's going to do a ton more damage. If you're just like, hey, I just want to use Sleeper because I love Sleeper and it's my favorite weapon in the world, run Sleeper. Because honestly, it's still going to do a ton of damage. Now, the only thing I might say, if you are running Sleeper and you want to use it on, say, a major Harpy, it's going to have an arc shield on it. I can use my Darcy here, drop it down. I've got a lot more bullets in it as well, so it's going to last me a bit longer. What I would do if you're running Sleeper and you need to take out a major, use your energy weapon to drop the shield first, so you only have to fire one shot to drop the major, and then it's still probably going to die. I just don't want the Sleeper Solar to work against the shield and not do full damage. So make the most of your shots if you are running Sleeper. But again, if you're pumping Sleeper into the boss in the end, you're still going to do a ton of damage, so it's a pretty valid option. Whisper of the Worm, while it is a damn good gun, I probably wouldn't recommend it on this one just because there's not that many solar shields. You can dump a lot of damage into the boss, but as it moves, something with bigger chunks like Sleeper is probably going to be your better bet. That's just me. You can probably run with whatever you want, but those are my recommendations. Arc subclass of some kind, maybe some range, but Hunters, you might have to get up close and personal, but with the Arc Strider, you actually do get a decent stun, so you still get a lot of damage out of that one. Mid-range, I would probably go, energy weapon, going to be Void, mid-range kinetic, and something powerful that you enjoy using, maybe something that takes advantage of Arc Singe, or maybe not. Other than that, any class should be able to do this one, just patience is going to be the virtue here. So, long intro out of the way. If you guys jump to this point in the video, we are going to jump in. Again, it is Arc Singe, so have your arc covered. I'm going to say Void in your energy slot, and then heavyweight, have fun, but take advantage of arc if you can. So let's jump into the strike and see if we can get this thing knocked out. Here we go. Alright, Guardians, once you load in, jump on your Sparrow, and we will get this thing rolling. And as I said, you can have two different rolls of the strike, and you really won't know which one you get until you get a little bit farther in, and I'll kind of point out where that happens, so we'll just kind of wait and see what we get. But a lot of my fighting in this opening section will be from up high, up here. I even sometimes retreat up here. Looks like I've got my little piece to get started here. Got that Vex guy up there, which is a good thing. And again, if you're up here, these shots, while some of the explosions may damage you a little bit, you're not going to take as much damage as being down on the playing field with them. Now, if you want to just go, hey, Darcy, shoot him straight away, you can probably do that as well. Make it a fairly quick death for him. It'd be good if I could actually hit the guy. And then same thing on the other side. If you need some visibility, you can, just stay on top. So that's what some of this upper deck is for me. If you're going for solo completion, just try and finish it. It's literally all you're going for. But again, 4 shots and you guys can take these out, or 1 Darcy, done to the head. You should get some heavy ammo dropping, so if you use some heavy, it's probably going to be okay. First one I'll start on is here. Once this thing pops up, I'm actually going to jump back up to the top just so I have the safety of the upper deck. So once that pulse goes, you can jump up here, jump up top, and again, you'll have a fairly safe area to fight from in case you want it. Now you're going to have 1 Hobgoblin or 2 in the back, so watch out for those. They will be doing some sniping on you. And if you need to watch the guys below, just duck so their shots can't get to you. Now at this point, work the guys down from whatever range you find safe. As they jump around, work them down one at a time. Same principle over here. Almost done. But again, if you're going for a little more on the speed fashion, would be good if I could actually crit one of these guys one time. There. Does hit really hard, so hence the benefit of running something with Arc and Heavyweight. It's a nice combo when you need to pump out some big damage. Same thing here. As soon as this pulses, you can jump up top and get out of the way pretty quick. There you go. Try and get as high as you can. Again, you can stay down here if you want to. I'm just showing you all ways if you want to truly go for survival that will help you out. So as enemies spawn in, again, take them from the top. And again, if you're running even an auto rifle up here, or pulse rifle, still going to do some work on these guys. It's just my go figure, working them down. I just like the energy bow because it's like one quick shot pulse. If I need to peek, I can. There's some heavy damage. Apparently I finished up a bounty. And again, so it does look like I'm actually going to get the Minotaurs down below. So this is where the Void will come into play. Sometimes they could be big harpies. So that's where your arc damage is going to come into play. Whether it's your grenades, whether it's your super. And honestly, if you want to use your super right now, it's probably going to be an okay thing because you're almost going to get it back. And again, working these Minotaurs down as they do have a lot of health. If you want to pop their shield slowly, that can be one way to do it. But they are kind of your big focus because once the big boys are down, then the shield will open. But notice there's a whole lot of stuff firing at me up here. You can really back off if you need to, even farther. That's up to you. But if you get in a bad spot, just back off farther, stay safe, stay alive. You won't have to redo this whole section because I don't think it's respawn restricted. But generally, it's just one of those I don't like to have to redo it any more than I have to in the first place. So work them down, watch for a few more ads. Trying to finish up this guy at least over here. There we go. So I got my kill clips. Hopefully these guys go down a little quicker. There we go. A couple more ads down below. Still going to have these goblins that I didn't kill from the previous set, so those are still going to be around. Kill clip's good. Rampage can have its benefits, but kill clip, honestly, as you're going to do kind of one enemy at a time, is a pretty nice one, just because you'll get that kill, get some extra damage, go find anybody else. So at this point, depending on what has dropped, I will check on ammo, check on your run, and then we will go forward. And I got a misfit. Never had one of those before. Couple red bar enemies. This is all that's really remaining. Nothing too crazy. You can see plenty of heavy ammo on the ground, so let's work forward. If you guys are looking for a speed run, shout out to Esoteric. That dude is a master at those. If you're looking for survival and a bit of probably poorly entertaining commentary, but you know, that's up to you guys if you enjoy it. Hang here and enjoy the videos. If you guys do want to catch me on Twitch, sometimes I will do these live runs, things like that. Just kind of the weekly reset. I did some yesterday, so you can follow me on twitch.tv/Ebontis. Follow me there. Sometimes I'll do it live. You can catch my podcast, Flashpoint, with Lord Cognito. Just always something going on. Once you come up here, you'll see if you have taken or not. And this looks to be a full Vex run. Now, I kind of had a hunch it was the Vex run because I had the Minotaurs and not the Harpies. But you still really don't know until you get right here and you'll know if the actual Vex spawn. So on this one, we're going to have very few... basically solar shields, if any. There's probably one that I can picture. So Vex is going to be your mainly void shielded run. So if you are looking to get this far into the strike, I should not have come down here. This is probably going to be interesting. But you are going to have void shields here, so be aware of it. Be careful. Watch big tall guy. And again, dropping a shield multiple times. I love when they teleport. Alright, sweet. Don't usually jump down like that. You can fight them from the tier above. Same thing here. If you are going to work on these guys, again, pick these two off from range. It's much better that way. See if you got any Minotaurs down below. Maybe not. But this is going to be a full, basically full Vex run. So that being said, if it is a Taken run, you're going to have these shielded Knights with Solar. It's just going to take you longer. Now, there's one Taken Knight, I think, throughout this that I can show you guys what I'm talking about. But that's going to be your main difference. The Acolytes are going to be at Void. So having Void is still going to work very, very well. You just won't have... There's still heavy ammo up there, which is hilarious. But again, if you do get the Vex run, Void is crucial for these Minotaur shields. And then in the end, also, you're going to have a couple Minotaurs that you are going to need to drop their shields. That's why I say Void is going to outweigh Solar pretty much every time you run this strike. There's I mean, the Taken Knights they will truly, not to have too fun of a pun on it, they will take a little while to kill, but honestly, to me, having the Void be able to drop the Minotaur shields, especially for the boss fight, is more important. So, as I said, Arc and Void is your friend on this one. That's just Dragonfly doing its thing. Jump on over these guys. Slide under this one. Now, usually on this one, what I will try and do is creep to this edge, and just so I don't fall, I'll just try and barely bump off the edge, and then as I fall, try and push forward, or maybe catch myself depending on which class I'm using, and just try and hold forward so you fall towards the other side, and try and avoid most of those things. So here is where you're going to have some, basically, big boy harpies. So on these, drop the shields, and this is where I'll use my Darcy, because I'm getting a fair amount of ammo back. And they're not so bad, the shield drops pretty quick, and they go down fairly fast. Now, down below, you're going to have some ads. Apparently, some want to come up the little ramp here. But again, they're just going to be some goblins here. Nothing crazy. But if you get kill clip, time to start making more efficient use of your reloads. Now, also, grenades. Lots of them. Use those, because you're going to have plenty of time in the strike to get stuff to recharge. Don't think you're going to be running out of time. There's one more Void guy over there. So if you were doing this on the Taken version, you would be dealing with about 3... You're going to be dealing with Void Acolytes here, so they're Void shielded Taken Acolytes. And then you're also going to be dealing with fire-throwing captains. So those would be your Taken captains with solar shields, and this is where you really would have to be patient. Literally what I would do, use this thing as cover, work one of the captains who usually comes over here down first. Kind of use this thing as cover and get him. He's basically just going to be on the edge of the stairs, and that's usually how I'd work him down. Then you'll have one out in the middle, typically just so you don't get hit by anything else. I might work him down from about this region. Maybe throwing grenades, doing whatever you need to, but he would, the second captain would be down here. Now, one thing to make note is if you have the Taken version, there would be kind of a Taken Hobgoblin right up there, so watch out for him. Minotaur in the back will work him down if he doesn't hide too much. But again, see, even just using the Void Boat, you can take these guys down and drop shields. And this would be what it's like to basically drop a Taken Night Shield. Takes about 4 shots, and then with whatever you got for a normal gun, work their health down, do it from range, do it from safety, and you'll be alright. Same principle here with the Minotaur. He's going to be a bit aggressive. Try and hit those crit spots if you can, and finish him up. So apparently it's raining heavy ammo over here, which is kind of a ridiculous example of how this one goes, but it's normally not quite that much heavy. But again, if you drop a shield, you want him dead, kill him. 185,000 damage is on the form of ridiculous, but works in your favor because you have a whole bunch of damage. I mean, that's Darcy with its 4x multiplier and arc damage and heavyweight. A lot of multipliers working together there. But, again, that's kind of why I give you guys the recommendations I do. If you don't have Darcy, anything Void or anything arc heavy is going to work. Just whatever you feel comfortable with. What have you got? Say you've got a piece of armor that gives you rocket launcher reserves. Use that. Say you've got grenade launcher reserves and you have play of the game. That works well, but if I've got Darcy, and this is a 2-shot combo, just gets me through the strike a little bit quicker, and heavy ammo is just coming down from everywhere. Let's get a few of these guys taken care of. Don't even know if I'll get kill clip there. Probably a little too far on the reload. If you wonder what those little pulses are on the ground, by the way, those, I believe, are the ionic traces from my subclass. It took me a long time to figure out. I was like, what is those lines on the ground? And then my dumb butt wasn't paying attention to my subclass guide, and yep, I should probably pay attention. So those guys are down. A couple more shields here. Again, these are still arc shields, but this is why using arc shield kills helps. So right here, if I can tag this one, those explosions are going to start killing each other. And that's kind of the way the arc shield, the void shields on the Acolytes will work as well. So those start to chain, and you see, like, I killed 4 altogether. But if I gotta sit here and pick them all off from range, that's what you gotta do. But honestly, the pulses like that killing each other, so much more fun. And it'll do that when it comes to the Acolytes as well. So you'll have a decent amount of Acolytes. If you have Taken, you'll be dealing with some other stuff as you go through. Phase 2, these are the ones that turn off and turn on. As you go through, they get a little bit more progressive. And again, patience is the value on this run. These guys will spawn. They're just 2 goblins. They're nothing crazy. But this is why you don't have solar burn. The boss is solar for 1, and 2, most of the goblins are as well. I just don't advise solar for anything on this run just because the boss will nearly one-shot you. Alright, on this one, usually it spawns up. It, like, you walk up and it's on. Give it a second to come on, turn off, and then just kind of try and time your jump down. As you come around this corner, have a few goblins to deal with, and then you'll be dealing with hobgoblins, goblins, harpies, and a hydra or two. So depending on where they're stacked, if you want to really just knock the hobgoblins out real fast and you got a sniper, that's my recommendation. They're annoying, and taking them out quick is better. Now you don't have to worry about them. Now you probably don't have to go heavy on the middle ones, but if they are clumped up, it might work well. Be good if I could actually hit stuff, but I have heavy ammo sitting over there, so not really too worried about it. But if you're running low on heavy, running low on arc ammo of some kind, just use your other energy weapon. Takes a few more shots. But this is why Void is good, because Minotaur over there is just right on the money with his shots. Just no question about it. There we go. That's why I do enjoy... That's a really long way for that Ionic Trace to travel. I usually will advise this platform over here on the left first, because you will spawn some enemies as you run up, but you should be able to get this platform taken care of on the run. Usually throw a grenade out there, try and kill some of the ads. Get a few of them down. And then, if you feel like you've got one of the altars activated and you need to pull back, my tendency will be to pull back to cover back here and work stuff again from range. This is why, again, patience is a key. If you guys want to do this in lightning speed, this is not the guide for you. But wait on that Hydra to show himself. And he's nearly dead. You can hit him in the shoulder, and he's down. Going to be another Hydra in the back. We can work some of that stuff down. Minotaurs will be around, but killing all this stuff from back here, it's about 10,000 times easier than being up in the little mix and being shot at a lot. That's excessive, but it still works. Made myself an orb at least, because I can't masterwork anything, because I don't want to spend all my cores yet. And I have more cores than most people, but masterworking is just one of those things right now that needs a lot of help. It's part of the game, and it's almost... And if you're a new player, I would say it's probably nearly impossible to do it. I'm with you guys, don't worry. A couple more ads will be up here. This Minotaur apparently is not done being annoying. This dude is just like, he wants to punch me. Hence why if you had Blackout on, that could be a bit of a scary situation. So running with 3 friends is an okay time to run Blackout. If you're running by yourself, probably less safe. Might do a different set of multipliers and try and just be a higher level mostly more than anything for a 100,000 point run. But that will be once I'm 600 and I can really mess with the challenge card and the multiplier and things like that. 100,000 run won't happen until I am max though. I will try it at some point, so know that that will be an option later. See, 2 shots and he's down. Couple more goblins. We got one more platform to stand on and we'll finish this thing up. I've done this strike multiple times. I've spent hours learning this one, so if you're like, hey, you're making this look rather easy, I've done this a lot. That's why I said I haven't done the other strikes as much, so that's why I'm not as confident to do a run with you guys. And we're at 15 minutes already. This is why I say points don't matter, because hopefully they don't. Otherwise, you're in the wrong video. Third platform, as soon as it does go, you'll run through, and we'll get to the final section. Third platform is down, all the bosses are down, all the goodies. Now, if you have a take and run, sometimes enemies will spawn right on top of you as you're doing this, so as soon as that gate falls, just run straight through and you won't have to fight the enemies. So in here, just avoid the big laser beams. Now, one thing you can do actually from this little platform is pick off some enemies. Now, here's my example of fighting a taken knight. Now, normally the knights you'd be fighting would have orange shields, or they would be majors, so they would take a little bit more work. But notice it's a solar shield, I'm dropping them down, works the same way as shooting an arc shield. The world isn't over, you'll be fine. Now from here you'll have one potentially taken wizard in the middle, which I think is actually going to be Void anyway, hence another benefit of Void. While you're working the goblins down, you can do this as well, shoot them. They probably won't turn around if that wizard is still up, so they take a little while to actually realize you're back here. Then you'll have the wizard, who's also been in the middle of a fight and also can go down quickly. So, there's those Ionic Traces again, freaking me out. It's like something's chasing me. On this part, just try not... If you get hit once, just get your health back up. It's not worth the risk. Oh, I'm being shot at. What's up, buddy? Trying to catch me off guard. Yeah, sometimes there's a knight at the end there, so be careful when you get to these little taken tunnel sections. You might have somebody that you would not think is there. Now here, coming up is a good place for a grenade, right on top of this platform. A lot of things are going to be up there. You're going to have some guys up in front, and here's where Void serves you well. Now this is a point where it looks like I'm going to have a lot of Taken, so actually killing the Taken shields with my Arc Void bow is going to be even more efficient than anything else. So just the little Acolytes go down quick. If you have groups of them, they'll go down faster. One thing I forgot to say when you come in, first focus, your snipers. So I've been vexed the whole time, and now I'm going to have a Taken room here, but I guess you guys get to see a half and half strike, for what that's worth. Going to have the Taken Phalanx. These are going to be your majors in here, so if you're working them down, these guys aren't the ones with the shields, it's the Acolytes. But you will have some other stuff up there, so we'll get to that in a little bit. So Phalanx are down. I have a wanted dude, and he is solar. That's going to be a blast. Now, if you have a wanted guy, unfortunately, they're not worth points, so if you're going for a points run, don't focus as much on them. But if you are going for safety and survival on this one, you're probably going to need to kill him. So, hence why Darcy and all of its wonderful ammo and crazy damage does wonders, because he's down. Wanted escapees and strikes. Apparently, there's a triumph. So here's what I'm talking about when those void things chain. I just nearly killed them all with one arrow. So that's why I kind of love that piece. Heavy ammo still dropping. This guy up here, no shield. Just got to make sure and focus on him. Shoot him while you can. Again, void over there. They pretty much nearly killed each other. You're going to have some enemies down below on multiple angles. So here's a group. I love how that works. One on the far side over here. Another group. Now, there's probably some underneath depending on how this is. Yep. And some more. Nope, these are the ones straight ahead. Well, here's some more Acolytes that spawn. Once you come down, you'll have some more that do spawn. So be aware, you're definitely not alone down here. But if they kill each other in their void explosions, I'm okay with that. Now we're at 18 minutes. We are losing points. Never told you guys this was a points run. Down here, they have a couple normal Phalanx. You can take them from down below or from up above. Apparently one Acolyte is remaining up here. So he's down. Kill these. Okay, I know there's one more shielded guy down there. He's below me. Hi. Good night. Alright, so first one, make sure you hack each one of these big little spires here. That is important. But honestly, what I like to do is take out as many enemies as possible, because once you literally jump up to the next section, you're going to spawn wave 2. So, if you're in what you feel is a fairly good spot, move forward, and wave 2 will spawn. So you're going to have 2 snipers again. Focus on those first so they can't get shielded. Those are quick, painless, easy. Next, you're going to have guys on either end. You'll notice you have a nice little shielded guy back here. It's what we call Minotaur fun. He's down. Now that Minotaur is actually being shielded, you can tell, because there's a goblin up there. Can't do anything about him until I kill the goblin. Now his shield goes away. Look for his wonderful outline and park it in his forehead. But again, the goblin shields are annoying, so kill those, because you're not going to be able to do anything while they're doing shielding, so look for those guys. Try and pop their heads off. And again, the void bow works well, but pulse rifle, honestly, just as good. But I do this from back here, because the closer you get, the more the guys can actually shoot you. From back here, I'm just picking guys off like fish in a barrel without having to worry about too much coming my way, because I am so far away. So range, yes, it is important. Notice I'm in range for him to shoot me now. It's less fun to be up there. Alright, so next piece, make sure you don't forget this spire, so you have to come back to it. Hack this one down below. This is why I clear out everything. Because to jump down here, you might have guys coming from each side, and this just makes it easier. So check your radar, make sure everything is up, and that's why I do check the platforms, make sure and drop the ads. Especially the, wonderfully cloaked Minotaurs, because you can't really see them until you get close, unless you're really looking for that little cloaking effect. Once you've got your ghost working on one, you're going to spawn the middle enemy. So, to take him out nice and cleanly, once that is done hacking, he will spawn up top. This one's going to be a Taken Centurion. If it's Vex, it's a big Hydra. Nice thing, Arc Shield goes down real quick. If I could crit him once, it'd be awesome. There he is. Finish you off with my bow in proper fashion. One more platform to hack, and we will head on to the boss room. It is not a short video, I apologize, but if you guys are working on this solo, depending on your level, I do advise being patient. So that one will go, nothing else is going to spawn. You are safe to head up to the platform, grab any ammo that's around, and head on in. Now there are a few goblins standing around this pit. You can shoot them if you want to. Say you need to try and see if any ammo is going to drop, you can do that. Otherwise, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to have their neck arched up to oblivion, whatever's up there. So jump down in. If If you don't touch anything on your way down, you will have a safe landing, so just remember that. Slowly but surely, we land. Alright, so the general way this boss fight goes, I'm going to explain this to you guys before I even spawn him. You spawn him by standing on the platform. He has two big platforms that he's going to stand in, over here on the right, and then over here on the left. He has a shield. You have to stand on the two platforms to drop the shield. Notice there are 3 platforms. You use the middle one twice. So first, when you do enough damage, when he's in the middle section, he's going to teleport over here. You'll get to do like a little bit of damage, then he'll put up his shield walls. You're going to have to stand on this platform first, drop that shield down, and then like when you get ready to do this one, there's ads that spawn in front of you, so be ready. Then you'll have to come over to this side. Once this little plate is activated and done, enemies will spawn over here. So my advice, literally, spawn the boss, start about here. As soon as the boss teleports, enemies are going to spawn right here. Pick them off from far away, run over, deal with the plate. I'll show you guys where to stand so you don't get sniped. Then when you're over here, let the enemies spawn on this side, fight them from where you were, or fight them from here where you're still standing, and then come over here and have a clean plate to stand on. You're going to have the shields drop, you're going to do damage to him over here on the right, he's going to teleport on the left, same principle. Left plate first, so stay over here at range, almost basically where you are at right here, kill these enemies. Stand on that platform, enemies spawned over here, kill those, then come over to this platform. Once you've done the 2 platform phases and the shield walls are down, he's going to be up in the center. He goes through a couple phases. First, once he goes from this platform over here, and you guys will see all this as I go through the fight, so if you want to skip the explanation, I'll give you guys the timestamp, or probably have already given it to you. He's going to go up in the middle. Some damage will warp him into this mid-section. This is where using this giant piece of cover right here is one of the few things that doesn't change in this room. The cover that you see out here on these edges and these edges comes and goes, depending on what the level feels like doing. This one seems fairly constant most of the time, so I don't really go much past here for cover, depending on what I need to. If anything, as the cover shifts, I'll come over here to the right and work my way around. As we get the boss lower on damage, you want to save your super until the very end, because as soon as his head pops off, he goes absolutely nuts, and that is when you want to be able to do your super. Super, snipers, rockets, heavies, everything you've got goes when his head pops, because at that point he fires his gun a lot faster and he will kill you quickly, and then you have to restart the whole damn fight. So, all of that being said, hopefully I can get a clean run and explain this to you guys in one fell swoop. So stand on the platform. Sorry about the long explanation, but I like to give you guys some heads up. As soon as that is active, he is going to come walking out. I might get a few shots in him, but you can use this one or one of these as somewhat safety here. Get some shots on him. Again, you can see I got a lot of damage going. He's going to teleport with pretty good chunk of damage. What was that, 180,000? He moved quick. Now from here, he's right back there, and he's going to put up his shield wall. So, shield wall's up. Ads are going to spawn in front of the platform. So, right now, just goblins. Nothing crazy. The Minotaurs and the bigger goblins will come on phase 2 when he's over on the left platform. Those get to be a little trickier and a little more powerful. That's why being farther away is even more important at that state. Plenty of heavy ammo around here, so I might even grab a little bit. Now, he doesn't miss much when he snipes. So if you guys will notice here, like if I'm moving constantly, he will tag me. The only way to really dodge it is to move at the last second. And even then, it's kind of tough. So what you want to do is anytime you're standing on a platform, hang off to an edge. If you've got anything like a rally barricade, that will work well. But otherwise, you've got to find these places that I'll show you guys where to stand, where you're not going to be in his line of sight. It's important. So again, use your cover over here, so you're not in the line of sight of the boss, and you can work the enemies down from over this direction. He's not going to be able to do much, but he will do purple fire occasionally. So make sure your cover is not near a wall, that you're going to get tagged with the fire, and if you're on the fire, move. I think that's everything. Now, this seems counterintuitive, but once he fires, you can actually have a safer run, if he's not going to do his fire, by actually running underneath him. Now, once he's here, the way to do this one, crouch, back up to where you're actually on the platform, but he can't actually see you. Make sure you stay crouched. If he does this little fire thing, like this, and any of it goes over, just be careful. So at this point, his shield is down. Now, I don't know if he's going to teleport if I did enough damage or not. Apparently not, because he is still shooting. So wait for it. Now, this is where you can see his head, but his gun can't shoot you. Nice thing about cover, it works well. So he is below a third, so he is going to go to the other platform. I'm trying not to overdo it, and I'll explain why once we get later on. So shield walls are up, and this is why using this cover over here has its benefits. I can work these adds down from over here. You're going to have one Minotaur. Again, why I think the Void Shield is worth every penny, or the Void Energy Weapon is worth all the weight you've got. Drop the shield, work him down. He's your first target, because just those shots will hurt more. Then you're going to have some normal goblins, but you're going to have one orange major goblin. Once he shows himself, maybe. There he is. So the Quantum Goblin is the other one that's going to hurt the most, so focus him down. And then pick off the final few. Those Ionic Traces are creepy. Alright. All the adds are down. We're in pretty good shape. So, wait for him to fire once. You're probably going to get tagged. Now, if you like kind of literally juke at like the last section, you might be able to... Second, you might be able to dodge it. This one's a little harder. Crouch down here. And literally creep onto this platform just barely to where... Now, if he does fire and it's hitting the platform where you're standing, just move and wait. Again, we're not in any rush situation. So again, at this point, get to where the platform actually does activate, but you're still behind the rocks, so he can't do anything to you. Let it tick in full, and then if you're going to use this platform as cover, he might shoot some fire at you, so pull back from it a little bit. You're going to have two Minotaurs on that side over there, so just be aware that you're going to have multiple guys with shields to deal with. So work them down as kind of the main first priority. A lot of goblins over there. I could do this with my other weapon too. I just use my energy bow because I still got to work some shields down. So there's the fire. You don't want to be too close to where the fire's coming, hitting the wall. It might creep over and get you, so a little distance between you and the wall is probably for the best. Alright, so make sure your adds are down. Fire is going right now. Don't get tagged by that. You can run over here, check if all your adds are down. Should be a safe run. And this is one of those rare moments. Actually getting closer to him works better. So if you need to check if anything's up, he can't shoot you up here. Now the fire, unfortunately, will hurt. Grab any ammo, run around the corner. This one is probably the most delicate of all of them. So, to literally activate this one, I'm barely on there. His gun is in his right hand, so he can't shoot me with his left hand, thank goodness, and I can still activate the platform. Now, one reason I would say be careful about doing too much damage in a group, because there can be points if you dump a whole bunch of damage in him, but for some reason he actually goes into one of his like shielded platforms, he will walk outside of that one but still be immune. It's kind of broken, but it's going to happen. So at this point, you got to do enough damage to actually move him. So, I did a good shot. Now, you didn't blow his head completely off yet, but we just kind of wounded his head. So you don't want to get him down to that final third quite yet. Just be ready when you do. His crit spot will change once he changes his kind of stature. So notice he's in the middle. He's not going to actually come over and walk to me. Your cover is going to change. This is why I hang on the right side of the map. Now you're going to have some adds come out. So you have a fairly reasonable run. I advise killing the adds from some type of cover. This is why I'm standing exactly where I am. Now he can get close to this wall, but I've never seen him actually come all the way around it. Now I could use my super probably middle of the fight on one of those other sections. So yes, you can use your super. You guys can gauge where you want to. Fanatics will be coming your way as well, so watch out for those. If he comes all the way around, he won't come up on the platform. I say that, and I've probably seen all bosses do something I say they won't do, but be careful. And if you need to find some other cover, just shift over here. Again, another fairly safe section. Just wait for him to fire before you move. And that's usually letting you know you're in kind of a safe, couple seconds before he gets ready to fire again. Another one up there. So you got your Quantum Goblin. Now, I'm going to go Chaos Reach, so at some point I'm just going to try and absolutely wreck him. But before I do, I'm going to try and pump as much sniper damage into him as I can. When you get ready to do your damage, he's going to shift his crit spot from his head down to his middle section chest. So it's going to happen real soon. Here we go. Crit spot is open, and I didn't even need my Chaos Reach. But you will have adds that spawn after that. So that is kind of important. So quick damage is important. As soon as his head pops and he changes that crit section, go super, go grenades, go a little bit more that you can, and see what you can do. So I got a bond. But I hope this helps you guys work on your Nightfall for the week. At least so you can check the box of completion. As for the 100,000 points, I will work on getting out those out later down the road once I'm a higher level. But if you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like below. Leave a comment if you got any questions. Anything about builds, recommendations you guys have got. But you can follow me on Twitch or Twitter. It's Ebontis there as well. But if you haven't not subscribed, please do so. I will keep this content coming to you guys. Forsaken is awesome. The support on my channel has been amazing. Thank you all for all the kind words and everything. So as you guys are working through the content, have an awesome day. Enjoy your week and enjoy Destiny. It's a lot of fun right now. It's a great time to be a gamer. So have a good day, and I'll see you soon.